Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. I hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you guys are enjoying your festivities and just, all around just enjoying yourselves. It's a great time to celebrate for everybody, be with family and friends and just enjoy everything that you have. So I want to start this video by saying um, usually when we're doing our spiritual growth and evolution, we disconnect a lot from the energies that we have. Um, we lose some of our abilities, and our DNA gets shut down, or we're put in this um, mode where we feel very ordinary, and we don't feel extraordinary. You know, um, that happens, and then you begin to slowly come back online. Your perception of your reality changes a lot with the people around you, and you can tell that some other people are on a different path. They're on their, you know, living their 3D world, so to speak. And we all have an up and down connection. This is a spiral. It's like a figure eight. If you can imagine, your toes would be at the bottom of your figure eight, and then on top of your head here, there's the other curve to that figure eight. Your body is in the middle. Your energy is constantly going up and down, and up and down through this energy field. On your top, I believe, is clockwise, and at the bottom is counterclockwise. And then you create, and that's how you create your aura, your auric field, and your ka. There's part of the word Merkaba, your ka energy. It's like your chi, your very own essence to yourself, who you are. And that's part of it, part of your own energy and discovering yourself, which is important. So you may feel stagnant, like you're not making any progress. Maybe you lost some of your abilities. That's okay. But when you come from within, when you're in connection with yourself, you're you're free. You feel a lot of energy. You feel relief, and when you come in contact with other people, you measure you measure yourself against these other individuals that are around you, and you can choose to open up your energy a little so you can relate to them and pick up on their, you know, worries and beliefs, their happiness, their joys too. It doesn't have to be all negative. So when you have an audience in the way you do now, you have an audience and you're connected to that audience. So you're bound by that audience. You created a connection with them, and that connection is unique because I'm connecting with you now, and you're my audience. And maybe it's just one person, maybe it's five, maybe it's 100. Doesn't matter, but you're here, and I think that's what's important. So let's see. So you're connecting with this energy. So what's happening is that you're bound by your audience, and you have to pretty much abide by that part of you. Um, so you're going to be moving forward with your next phase of your mission in life. So I can tell you a good prediction of how that might be because I have a connection with all of you that are watching me now. And everybody is unique and is an individual. And it's very personal as well because it's just a medium for us to interact and get different kinds of energies. There are some things that I love to talk about, and I realize that when I don't say things, other people say them, or I might hear some sort of similar comment out there in my mind. And that is funny because I always think of, well, I thought of that first. I maybe should have mentioned something like that before. But I like getting the confirmation of things that happen, even if I'm not the one that's there to say it first. So, the ego, right? How could I forget? Your ego protects you. Your ego, it's your protection against all external things that are out there, right? Your mind can wander, but it's always good for it to come back to its essence, what's important. I like trying making a list of four important things that I want to focus on personally, and one of them is being a little more consistent with my videos because life gets in the way, and it's okay if life gets in the way, but as long as you align and you go back to your essence, to what you feel is right, then we can overcome that stepping stone and move on to something else a little more uh, dynamic and compromising, with a priority set to um, the goal of any dancing around the word here, but you know, between you and whatever your goal might be, right? So the ego protects you, and your ego is to me your I, from the word I am. Have you heard anyone mention your I am presence, who you are? Right. So your I, it's only when you're by yourself, no external input. Maybe you're alone with your thoughts, laying in bed, laying on the couch, not watching TV, looking at the fan spin. When you look up, the fan is spinning, and you're just yourself, right? And I think it's kind of be hard to just be on your own, right? Because I think that part is long since past. But there's instances where your attention is drawn to other things. If you're working and you're not really paying attention to your essence, but still you know it's there. So you're connected with your I, and then when you're around other physical people or anything, even maybe your pets, you are a different kind of person. You're an I am, which is the projection that you give onto others and how you want to be perceived by others. It's your I am at that moment. I am a store manager. I am a father. I am a son. I am my husband. I am who I am, right? And that's the differentiation of your character and your behavior. And you might be looking at that and trying to fit someone else or something else in that dynamic. You have to make space for that to happen, right? You have to give that time. And I know time is just a word that gets flung around a lot, but you want to build on something that's important. The reason why you want to clear your mind is because thoughts are things. You can create with the thoughts that you have in your mind. And if you let in your mind wander and you're thinking and you're thinking and you're thinking, even though you know what the goal is, you might put obstacles that are unnecessary in your way. Mind you, that's just going to be part of your path because you have to learn to reach that part of you. You have to learn to realize that whatever you think of brings that sort of energy, and vice versa. You might be receiving energy that you don't completely agree with. So I would like to watch a lot my internal dialogue and the things that I say to myself. I am always conscious of what I think to myself. I am not too much in the I, but I am more in the I am, in the conscious self of my own awareness, my own existence. It says I am real, I exist, I'm here, right? That's important for you to realize. So what you're feeling now is going to be the energy around you, and this is for everybody out there that's going through the ascension process, and that's uh you know experiencing, not just talking about it, experiencing things, experiencing what you're experiencing, right? Living what you're living through, which is great. It's perfect. Um, it's natural, right? So we all have natural needs. We drink water, we're thirsty, we eat, we take care of our physical appearance, the way we look, and we have other sorts of needs that we take care of. And you have to merge these with your persona so that you can build your personality or make your personality stronger, or go out and be perceived in a certain way. I just wouldn't step outside now because I wouldn't look too well right now the way I'm sitting here talking to you, right? You'd have to put on your suit so that you are, and you become, right? And then you present yourself to the outside world. So see if you can find your niche, your space. It's there, right? See how you can fit things into your life so that everything works. And then some things are just going to be really off putting for some, and others are going to accept. But still, you have to stand firm in your belief because you know from the inside out what's real. It's just how do you want to be perceived by others? And the only measure of success that I have with anything is that if somebody or a group of people or anybody just doesn't like what they see here, what they're looking at right now, then I said, great, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing because I feel great. You're the one that wants me to fit into your perceptive of your reality, and that can't happen, right? Their perception of wanting to bring and absorb other into their likeness and their way of thinking is unique, and you would draw these people to you because you think the same way. Now when you find somebody that's off-putting or just doesn't jive at your level, then that's great because you know that you are within your own field. You have that boundary to rebuff other kinds of people's energies. And a lot of people generally, and I'm going to switch topics, but I'm going to go down the same stream of thought, is, um, well, that, the way that humanity in general now is a macrocosm of the microcosm, which is we're always in conflict. There's always a war, right? Think about it. There's always conflict somewhere in the world. Um, the only time that there was any lasting peace was, I think, between World War I and World War II. There was about a good lapse of, I don't know how many years, but there was relatively peace in the world since then. And since after World War II, there really hasn't been that much peace in general all around the planet. Think about that for a second. So when you reach another individual and you see that they're conflicting, they want to bring an abrasive force of their internal self, and they want to bring that up onto you, a form of oppression, I would say, but compliance. Well, you're not like me, so I don't like you, right? You're not. We're not in the same length, or uh, we might have the same common goals, right? We all want to. We all want to buy a car. I realize you want one, I want one too, but our conflicting differences are putting us off to each other. Then you're building this negative tension because we all want the same basic needs. You all want a roof over our head. We all want some spending money. We all want um, whatever it is we might need. But in any case, when you um, have this person that has strong beliefs against what you think, then that causes tension. And we don't have that. Um, we don't have that basic understanding as individuals or as a planet in in the whole for there to be any sort of ET contact, because if two different races of ET land on Earth, you're gonna pick one and I'm gonna pick the other, and then we're back to where we started again. So when anybody says or gives us a timeline of any sort of landing or any sort of contact, obviously it'll be that everybody sees them all at once, not just a particular connection here with one group of people or one country or that country. Just think about how compartmentalized everything is. Where you know we could be here and maybe no one knows there was a UFO video in Nevada. Like you wouldn't know what the news in Canada is. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't know anything about Mexico unless it's huge, right? There has to be a volcanic explosion in Greece for you to know that there's something happening in the world, the global event, the global thing. But they are getting these sightings. They are seeing these graphs. That last video where I explained what I saw is something that I've told you, but it was very unique to me. Um, and just things like that, because it just so happens to be that way. But you're growing, you're not in a plateau, you're moving in another direction, and it's hard to be unbiased about this because it's mm, it's hard not to. But I can come from a place where I feel centered, and I know not letting my ego take over and control the conversation in the way that you would think, right? Very selfish, right? The ego. Our ego only thinks about protecting yourself and just thinks about you. I'm all alone somewhere. Someone walks in the room. Immediately, my mind just doesn't it for everyone. Just oh, okay. You have your feet on the couch. Someone walks in or something. You take your feet off the couch. Maybe, you know what I mean. But that's part of the growth process that we are going through. So you do have to connect through your chakras. Do have to read and involve yourself in these extra information that's out there for you, so that you could say, once in a while, oh, aha, I just didn't read about it, I felt it, right? And I did a lot of reading, a lot of metaphysical work before I felt what they were talking about. But I never discarded it because there was a part of me that said, oh, this can't be true what I'm reading here. And then you just set the book down and say, this is junk. But there is a little bit of truth. You're probably just not there yet. And whatever sounds like gibberish to you in this video, maybe one day you'll come around and think, you know what? I heard a guy talk about that once, and it kind of just started to make sense now. And I'm glad that I could put in 2 cents in and have you feel that energy, which is amazing. I always like to think about it when I think about it, like cotton candy. That's what I like to think. The way I think about that, I think about cotton candy. I think about something sweet, but it's if you overindulge, I don't think you'll feel bad. The more you get, I think the more you'd want it. And when you're not connected to yourself and you don't have it, then you really want that feeling again. But it's always the same. You can only have so many. You can only have so much of one good thing before you don't want it anymore. But it's a little different because it's a part of you. It completes you. So it's always a back and forth connection, like the yin and yang, right? Which has to have a polarizing balance in order for it to work. And in itself, it's a whole. So once you're complete with your soul group, then it's two, then four, six, eight, 10. You could practically have your whole soul group with you, and maybe not realize it at a conscious level, but at a spiritual level, you're connected with the people that you need to be with, right? And usually, you are also in the family unit that provides you the kind of um, experience that you need. So everybody has a soul. Everybody has a connection to God. And those that are pure evil, they have at least a little pin dot size of light in them that allows them to just be, because it has to be that yin and yang connection, that polar opposites that connect and work with each other. Okay? Now, I don't want to say something that could tip the balance of good and evil in this planet, but I'm thinking about something that I'm going to purposely omit for now, right? But anyway, tempted not to say this. Where was I going with this? All right, so you've right, so you have that balance with yourself. I'm losing track of what I'm saying, but so you're connected with this energy, and it's a part of you. I'm trying to think, what was I saying? Um, right, so your soul group. I talked about that. I talked about the energy. So you're right. Every person has a soul. No matter if it's a pinpoint dot of light, they have that energy within them. They they carry that part of themselves, and it's not too difficult to explain. But there's different ways of saying the same things. Because when your vibration is high enough, you a higher dimensional being, it's easier to look down into a lower dimension than it is for a lower dimension being to look up and understand, right? Can you understand what's past the planets? Would you comprehend how it would seem when you're out of the galaxy and you're looking towards this galaxy, for example, or how other planets are? Maybe the grass is blue on another planet, and they have a complete different set of creatures like animals we have here, and maybe they don't have trees, or maybe they all live inside the planet in a cave system in there. And you drive, you zoom past the planet, and you look and you say, oh, there's nobody there, right? We still don't know what's on the surface of Neptune and all these other places. But when you come across another person's energy and your vibration is high enough and you're a higher dimensional being, and you can see not just their physical body, but you can get in touch with their emotional body, their chakra, also what kind of illnesses they have, what kind of malaise, what kind of you know what you know that you can see that they're just going through their lives of paying bills and making ends meet and going out with friends and praying to a higher power. And and you can see that that is just their reality, that there just isn't more to that, because I've tried raising other people's frequency, and I felt how they just kind of snapped out of the it's like they were in a fog, like they were dizzy, like they were, had a few extra drinks where you're just, you know you feel like all this I am shell, this, the way you drape yourself over every time you go out with a layer of I am this, I am this, I am that. I ride a bicycle, so I'm not really the best person in the world. I you know I was raised by parents that weren't the best, so I can't really think of anyone else giving me the value of how I feel or how I should be treated in the world. And I'm not saying anything personal about myself. I'm giving you an experience of what you might be going through. You got to peel away these layers. Slowly, you're going to peel away these layers. Don't expect to just, and you're here I am, because you're going to be shocked. There's going to be just this moment where you won't believe it, You just won't believe it, because it's going to knock you off your feet. And you might be getting information like that. That you might be told, oh, there are higher dimensional beings out there that are in charge of making sure that this third dimensional planet goes to the fourth dimension, and at the end goes to the fifth dimension, and then eventually goes to the sixth dimension. You're going to say, Francis, I just can't believe that. Oh, you know what else I can't believe? How is it possible that this planet is the local universe of the local galaxy? The local, well, galaxy is um, a universe is in higher, it's wider, right? And think of space than a galaxy. So how could this? Are we really in this local universe of the Milky Way, waiting for an ascension process so that the whole galaxy can move up a notch, so then we can continue to go towards source in that way, right? Is it really that simple? Then you might be thinking, no, that can't be true. That isn't right. But it's all a matter of perception. So if you get all this information coming into you quickly at a moment's notice, you're going to be in shock. You're going to go back to the protective layer of your ego, and that's going to have you thinking about, a tangible reality that you live in. I'm here, I am this person, I need to go to work, I need to put myself in my little puzzle piece that I belong in this whole scheme of, um, you know, not evolving, or not um, not thinking that there's more when there really is. So to peel the layers off a little bit at a time, and you start to move in the right direction. And that's important that we make this sort of uh, this sort of connection, right? It's important that we make this distinction between a physical reality, a physical experience, a higher dimensional experience, a higher dimensional way of living, and making connections with the right people that are aligned with your soul purpose, right? With your soul mission. All right. So I think I've made this video long enough. Uh, and I've given you all the information that you need so that you can grow more. And just, I spent years asking myself, when I finally woke up, I looked myself in the mirror once and I said, what the hell? Why am I back here again? It's what I said. Well, I don't want to be here, because I felt the energy that makes up the planet Earth right now. Right? We're restricted in this orb. That why are we restricted? because every individual person has an individual thought. There isn't a common goal. We're still at war at a microcosm and a macrocosm. There's still war and there's still that separation energy that exists. All right, but still, I remember asking when I woke up to myself, you know, what am I doing here? Why am I here? Why am I here? And then obviously, who am I? Who am I? And who am I? And now I know who I am. And sometimes other people might just say who you are, and you might not believe it for yourself. But believing is important. So I don't want to continue to just blab away to for you guys unnecessarily. I hope you find this video interesting. I haven't received any sort of you know enlightening channeling or information about anything specifically. I did go back to that alternate Earth where I saw the three domed cities. I was visiting that place again, which wasn't a dream. I was there, but I recall being there. That's an alternate Earth and an alternate parallel universe that's already had its ascension, etc. I don't want to go into it. It's detailed and advanced stuff that I don't know much about that. Maybe someone else can talk about that. Anyway, I leave you well. Here's the video again, showing up and making sure that I have my important goal set, which is showing up for you guys because I think this is very important. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Enjoy your 4th of July and well wishes, and I'll see you again soon.